She was my blessing, he wept. And I was her curse. He clutched a wrinkled photo of the woman he once kicked, slapped, and shamed in public, now realizing she was the reason he ever knew success. The truth of what happened over 20 years unraveled like a blade to the heart. Chica married Emmanuel when she was just 22. She was quiet, beautiful, soft-spoken, the kind of woman who never raised her voice, even when wronged. She grew up in the village, raised by her grandmother after losing her parents in a road accident. When Emmanuel, a struggling mechanic from the city, visited the village and met her during a wedding, he was drawn by her simplicity. Within months, they were married. But love did not follow. From the first year, Chica learned what it meant to be used and ignored. Emmanuel drank. He gambled. And when life hit hard, he blamed her. "You bring me bad luck," he would roar. "You came into my life and nothing has worked since." He'd toss plates, slam doors, and when words didn't satisfy his rage, HW will beat her. Chica bore it all in silence. She never told a soul. She prayed, she cooked, she cleaned, and she hid her bruises behind powder and long sleeves. But behind her silence, she was hiding something else. A secret. Before Chica left the village, her grandmother handed her a sealed envelope and whispered, "This was your father's. He worked for a man who owed him a great debt. When he died, the man left you something big. You'll know what to do when the time is right." Chica opened the envelope on their one-year wedding anniversary, after Emmanuel had forgotten their anniversary and returned home drunk. Inside was a name, a company, and documents that proved her father had invested a long time ago in a now booming transport company in Lagos before his death. The shares were now worth over 250 million Nigerian nairas. But Chica said nothing. She knew if Emmanuel found out, he would squander it. Or worse, destroy himself. So instead, she reached out to the company quietly. With the help of a lawyer, whom she paid from her small bean cakes business, she began collecting quarterly dividends, under a false name. And with that money, she began investing. Secretly. She started with Emmanuel's garage. When he was sleeping off a hangover, she'd pay off debts he owed. Buy better tools. Secretly tip customers to return. Soon, his garage grew. People praised his luck. He thought it was fate. He thought it was his hard work finally paying off. He didn't know it was the same woman he mocked every night, the same woman he accused of witchcraft, who was saving him. As the money grew, Chica opened 2 more businesses under his name, a car wash and a parts shop. She registered everything to Emmanuel, pretending to be just a supportive wife. She endured his insults. She ignored his infidelities. She cared for his sick mother. She raised his children. And all the while, she kept giving, hoping one day, he would change. But he didn't. Instead, the more he earned, the more cruel he became. He moved into a bigger house and gave her the smallest room. He bought new clothes and mocked her wrappers. He told their children, "Your mother is just a villager. It's me who made us who we are." Then came the illness. A stroke hit Emmanuel on his 48th birthday. His mistress abandoned him. His friends stopped visiting. And suddenly, it was Chica, the woman he beat and ignored, who nursed him day and night. She bathed him, fed him, prayed for him. When he cried, she held his hand. When he screamed, she wept silently. And one day, when he was strong enough to speak again, he whispered, "Why are you still here?" She smiled faintly and said, "Because I married you. And I never stopped believing that one day, you'd see me." It wasn't until Emmanuel's lawyer visited, trying to finalize property paperwork, that Emmanuel discovered the shocking truth. As the lawyer explained the chain of transactions that led to the company empire, how Chica had paid every debt, signed every paper, handled every transaction under a false name to protect the family, Emmanuel's hands trembled. She did all this?" The lawyer nodded. "If not for her, you'd be in prison for tax fraud. She even paid for your accountant, anonymously. The businesses, the houses, the cars, the name he built. None of it was his doing. He had been living off her faithfulness, her forgiveness, her strength, while treating her like trash. He begged for her forgiveness. Publicly. At a family meeting, he apologized before his children, weeping. "Your mother is the reason we have anything. I was blind, wicked, and I'm sorry." The children hugged her, cried for her, and for the first time in 20 years, Chica was seen. Today, Emmanuel walks with a heart full of regrets. She owns 70% of 3 growing businesses. She runs a foundation for women who suffer in silence, telling them her story, but never with bitterness. "I stayed," she says, "not because I was weak, but because I saw something worth saving, even if it nearly destroyed me." People always ask, "Would you do it again?" She smiles, eyes soft. "Not for a man, but for my children. Yes, I would." And Emmanuel, he tells his story too, but from a wheelchair. If you have a wife who prays for you, blesses you, and stays when others would run, don't wait until you're broken to see her value. He said,